Lego fans, and welcome into a brand new episode of the Brick Hour podcast. I am JJ, otherwise known as Langster Builds on Instagram,
I am Cameron, otherwise known as Cameron Studios.
and we are here today to talk about something that we normally don't talk about on this channel, that being
Yeah.
video games,
hmm
specifically the most recent Lego video game that was announced, that being Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. There's a lot of information that came out of GamesCon and a lot of more information since then from the developers.
Gee, why would we be talking about this?
Maybe because I love Batman
It's also the first Lego Batman game in how long now?
a long time.
hmm
It's been over 10 years.
No.
Yeah.
DC
Because Lego,
villains?
no, that wasn't
Oh,
Lego Batman. Like that
no,
was
you're right.
Lego Batman
Wow.
3 was the last one we had. Um,
Wow.
but before we start talking about that, Cam, what are we building this week?
What are we building? Not a whole lot. I am probably 90% done of rearranging my shelves. All the Disney sets are on the shelf. They just aren't in the right spot yet. I'm waiting for
Mhm.
more adjustments to come in. But I didn't want to come empty-handed. So I'll crack this bad boy up. The Fortnite gift with
Oh,
purchase. Gotta say, not being a Fortnite player or really fan, these were a lot of fun to build. I like the techniques for like this one's ears. Don't
the
ask me
Cuddle
to
Team
remember
leader,
their
yeah.
names. I know this is Peely, but not exactly Peely.
It's Adventure Peely.
Thank you. The What I like about BrickHeads is no interior of a BrickHead is ever the same. I mean, you got like the general structure, but like the way they go about it, like typically you would expect like four studs to connect the arm, but here it's only two.
Hmm.
So like they just find different ways to make it where if you're building multiple BrickHeads in a row, like myself, it's not the same thing over and over. And like the technique to make the banana head was really fun, and the fact that I think this is one of, if not the first BrickHead to have instructions to tell you not to put the eyes a certain way as opposed to all other brickheads, as
Really?
opposed to like Dumbledore with his glasses or Jack Skellington with like the clear eyes so they don't
Mhm.
have like the brickhead eyes. But like got a nice little print here too, which is pretty common with brickheads, but now with gift with purchases, so that's a nice bonus. And then one more small thing. I bought this for one piece. Not One Piece Methuselah, but one Lego piece alone is the reason I bought this.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about here.
I don't even know the name. I just saw Gus Gus. I'm like, I need Gus Gus from Cinderella.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna check out to see if the Cinderella hair works better than the one that came out in the castle.
Hmm.
But the only reason I bought this was for Gus Gus. It sucks that he doesn't have a hat, but I'll put him in my right on the Disney castle with Cinderella. Gus Gus is one of my favorites growing up. It was always Jack Jack and Gus Gus or me and my brother. So I had to snag him, and I wanted to not be empty-handed for what are we building. So that's all I've been building. JJ, what have you been building?
I've also not been doing much either. I have one small thing to talk about this week.
Ooh.
Obviously, progress on Titan's Tower has stalled as I wait for more parts to come in. But I did get something done for Titan's Tower, and that is
Oh.
this here. This is Nightwing's motorcycle.
Is that Spider-Man's motorcycle?
It probably was at one point. Yes, it was. So
Small
basically,
hair.
this is the Spider bike from 2013. Now, I am not a fan of Spider-Man having vehicles except for the Spider Copter, but I don't have that anymore because I don't really care to keep it that much. And the Spider-Mobile because that was iconic. However, the design and color scheme of this bike worked perfectly for New 52 black and red Nightwing, which that is the Nightwing I
Mmm.
do plan to use in the build because I have him and I have the other blue one. And like everybody likes blue Nightwing, but I have a soft spot for the red one. I think the red and black is pretty sick.
I go back and forth honestly, because I remember when the red one came out in that Man Bat set.
Everybody was mad.
I liked it because like me red's my color, but like
No,
I have both now.
I mean when they changed the color in the comic, everybody
Really?
people didn't like the fact that he was black and red.
Mm.
Now obviously I needed to have some sort of Nightwing graphic to put on to distinguish it as Nightwing. I have
Mhm.
Nightwing's '07 motorcycle in the Batcave, but I wanted to have
Okay.
something different for
Right.
this mock. So I took the stickered slope from that Batcopter set. Because I don't have the
Oh.
glider because the glider was a crappy build.
hmm
Um, so I took it off and I popped it on here. And one of the nice things is there's you can kind of see there's clips on the side of it so that you can stick his Eskrima sticks to
Oh.
it. So when he's driving around on it, they're clipped up front.
Now, what color are you gonna make those? Are you gonna use
Red.
black or red? Oh,
They'll
you're
be
gonna use.
red. They'll be
Are you
red.
gonna use trans red or like
Trans
actual
red.
red?
I'll use
Okay.
trans red. Just like the ones they always have. When he has the blue ones, he'll just have the red ones.
Nice.
So That's what I have. I do have something else I'm working on. A couple things actually I'm working on, smaller builds.
Oh,
Cam knows what one of them is, but the parts haven't arrived for it yet, so we'll wait till the
ah,
parts arrive and I get to build it.
yep.
Um, and I am working on another small thing, but some of the parts for this don't exist in the color I need them for, so I'm
I
gonna
feel
just
your pain.
so I'm probably gonna just wait. I'll show you guys next week what I've been doing with it because I'll need something else for what are we building. But
Believe
yeah,
me.
that's basically all I've got for this week for what are we building. Um, so I said we just get right into this because
Yeah.
there's
I
a
mean,
lot
there's
to
not much
talk
else to
about.
talk about. I mean, well, there's not much else to talk about here, but like, I mean, do we even need to talk about Pam at all?
No, because there's already the thing with Pab on the
Yeah.
short. Long story short, if you have not seen the small short video we have, Pick a Brick standard parts have been totally disabled for the entirety of the United States and Canada and basically just North America in general. Um, Unfortunately, due to the tariffs that are being put in place on the 29th, so the date this video goes uploaded, there will be no more, basically none of the international shippers like Royal Mail or DHL are going to be sending anything over. So effectively, standard parts for Pick a Brick in the United States is done for the time being. We will see what happens with that, but bestseller parts are still up. So if you want some stuff from there, you can go bestseller. But again, it just kind of depends on what happens from there. But there's a whole other video we did on that, a short video. Go take a look at that. Because right now it is time to talk video games.
Somebody's been itching to do this video ever since the game was officially announced. And can you guess
I-
who?
Now, let's do a little bit of a backtracker before we get to
Oh,
this.
okay.
So, Skywalker Saga gets released. That video
Mm,
game comes out. There was a whole bunch of stuff with TT in terms of like TT Games, the Traveler's
hmm
Tales, the studio that makes most of the Lego games. In terms of like people being overworked and there was a bunch
Yeah.
of problems and the game got delayed a million times. Like we all remember the fact that there was sets that came out in 2021 for Star Wars that had Skywalker Saga graphics all over them, and that game didn't come out for another 2 years. Like it took a while for them to get it out. It was like those sets were all retired by the time that set
hmm
came out. By the time that game came out, sorry. There was a lot of questions whether or not TT Games was actually going to make another Lego game. We know that there was an attempt by them to get a James Bond game off the ground, like a
Oh,
Lego James
yeah.
Bond game. That did not amount to anything. Thank God. I don't know how they would have been able to pull that off with how
I
James
mean,
Bond behaves in some of those older
eh,
movies.
well, I mean,
Um,
considering how like what they've shown in like other video games like Star Wars and like how they dealt with certain things in like Batman, which we'll talk get more to with this game later, but like I mean, like perfect example, the Lego Lord of the Rings game, Boromir's death. They made it comical.
yeah, but James Bond is a lot worse in terms of his behavior towards certain people.
They would have put
So
the Lego charm on it to make it work. So I mean,
I
I
I
get.
know
I'm
that
glad it
you and
didn't
I both
work.
know that, but in
Yeah,
terms of would the general public have been like, do
fair.
we want little kids playing through a James Bond game? Probably not. So that happens, nothing goes on.
hmm
We don't really hear much from TT for a little bit.
I was
And
expecting
then,
another game, honestly.
no. And then
hmm
earlier this year, some rumblings start to happen that Traveler's Tales is developing another Lego game, which to me was surprising because Lego Fortnite is killing it. Lego's doing some other weird ventures into some other stuff, and I figured TT's done. That
hmm
format is done. It's been beaten to death. They've done that same Lego game format a million times. It's becoming like Madden, Call of Duty. Like people are getting bored of it. Time to move on. Lego Fortnite, I honestly figured was the way of the future. I figured
Yeah.
this style of game was gone. And then we start hearing rumors. TT is working on another game. And then we hear another rumor. It's Lego Batman. It's Lego Batman 4. Now, the original speculation forever ago was that it was going to be a continuation post DC supervillains, and that it was going to be some sort of like the Justice League is captured and it's just Batman and
Mm.
Robin on their own. And that ended up being totally false. That rumor was
Yeah.
just somebody blowing smoke. The rumor then pops up, and we covered it here in a short, that the game was going to be some sort of cinematic chronicle of all of the different Batman movies and the eras, like so, like '89 Keaton, Batman Returns, Dark Knight trilogy, the new one, and it was going to be allowing you to play through the events of those movies. And there would be three separate open worlds for like '89 Gotham and Dark Knight trilogy Gotham and
Pattinson.
like Pattinson's Gotham, whatever. You and I was not the biggest fan of that. I didn't
Yeah,
like
you
the
weren't.
idea. I didn't like the idea of we're gonna just Legofy the Batman movies and there's no cohesive story and it's just jump like at least with Star Wars you're playing two different eras of like the
Right.
same story. But with this, it's like none of these line up. And like even now, like 89 and Batman Returns and Batman 89 are no longer considered the same universe as Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Yes,
Really?
they are no longer considered the same universe. Just it was like a weird comic thing, but they
We
did pull it
had the
off.
same Alfred though.
Multiverse stuff, a lot of characters from the
Yeah.
same
All
people.
right.
So that whole thing happens, and then the game officially gets revealed at
Mm-hmm.
Gamescom. Ton of creators were there. The game gets revealed, and at first I was like, "This is odd," because it seemed like they were just mix match. I'm like, are they're telling a Batman story. It's got a bunch of different moments from these
Mm-hmm.
different franchises, but then like certain characters look off, and I'm like, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
So when the official release comes out, the press release, it was effectively this is separate from everything. So this is no longer a continuation of the DC superhero story we saw starting with Lego Batman 2 and ending with DC supervillains. That whole timeline, that story's gone, done. We're now going back and we're doing effectively the origin of Batman again. And what they're doing with this is they're taking bits and pieces from different movies over the years and they're putting them in here. So like Pattinson's movie, like there's elements, there's sequences from
Mm-hmm.
that are part of the origin here. Dark Knight trilogy has some things sprinkled in, like character design wise as well. Like we see Bane, but Bane has a Venom tank. But the Tom Hardy Bane doesn't have a Venom tank, but he's got
Not to
one there.
mention
So
Bane's a big fig.
he's also a big fig. We see Heath Ledger Joker. There's also other bits where they talk about, there's sequences where you see the origin of the Joker with Red Hood. So this is them basically taking all 86 years of Batman's history, condensing it down into a story, and taking very iconic moments from throughout film, TV, comics, everything, and using it to tell an origin story for Batman. I love this. This is a perfect way to do a Batman game.
Hmm.
I think just I think doing it like play through Batman 89, done. Play through 92, Batman Returns, done. That would have been kind of boring for me. But the fact that you're giving us a straight up game, a original story that utilizes some of the little bits from this movie and some of the character designs, so that to the outside it's oh cool, it's a Lego version of Dark Knight, but to the diehard fans, it's no, they're using Dark Knight to tell Batman's story. This is cool. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I was a big fan of the TT Lego games growing up. Like I loved
Mhm.
playing Lego Batman 1. Like every Lego game that I had, I played with my brother,
Yes, as did I.
and it was just a blast for us. Like Lego Batman 1 was fun, then we did Lego Batman 2 and it blew our minds being able to play as Superman, as Flash, as Wonder Woman, as all these different characters. And like with the first game, being able to play as the villains, like it kind of had its own story, which I liked.
Hmm.
And like I do wish that they kind of continued on with the story,
Me
but
too.
like I also kind of wish that they kind of kept that kind of style as well in a strange. It's like to me, it's like if it's not broken, don't fix it. But at the same time, I can understand people kind of wanting something new.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's going from something old to something similar. Because like as you said, it's like when we talked about it before this, it's basically going to be like Arkham, but in Lego.
Correct.
And so it's going from Lego style game, like it's like Lego style game and a Lego game to an Arkham style game and Lego. Like it's not changing so much. Like
Hmm.
it's still Lego both cases, but then it's going to like another type of video game. But it's like the same video game if that makes sense.
Yeah, like it feels like more what we had before, but when you hear about what's in it, it's very
Mhm.
clearly not. So I'm gonna go through a lot of the details that have been
Right.
released in just one big chunk, and then we can kind of
Yeah,
break it
go
down and go
through it
through
all and
there.
then we'll kind of break it down.
So going in order, these are basically bullet points that came from this is me doing research and getting everything put together. This is a story-led campaign from Bruce Wayne's origins, training with the League of Shadows, and it blends together 86 years of Batman film, TV, comics, and video game into one narrative.
Okay.
Love that idea. The open world Gotham City includes crimes to stop, puzzles to solve, rewards, and Easter eggs. We know for a fact from some gameplay from Gamescom that there are Riddler challenges across Gotham, just like in the Arkham games.
Hmm.
That's going to make a lot of people mad because a lot of us couldn't stand finding all the damn Riddler trophies.
He said a bad word, $5.
But here they are again, most likely. Um, Traversal over Gotham City will be by grappling, gliding, and vehicles.
Hmm.
We obviously know the Batmobile is playable. We'll get into that in a minute. Vehicles. There are a range of Batmobiles, including the Battinson Muscle Car and the Tumbler, and Bat Cycles, with the ability to summon the Batmobile no matter where you are. That's awesome. That
Hmm.
is something they pulled directly from Arkham Knight because in that game, you could leave the Batmobile halfway across Gotham, end up somewhere else, and instantly summon it to your location to use it. So that was
Because that's
cool.
so realistic.
Of course. Previews show open world collectibles like Bat Caches and Smashable Penguin Rubber Duckies. Riddler trophies and challenges have not been announced, but we see them, so it's like they're there.
Hmm.
Confirmed locations in Gotham City so far are Ace Chemicals, the Gotham Botanical Gardens, Wayne Tower, and Arkham Asylum. I'm assuming GCPD will also be included there. Okay. There is a new combat system that is in place for the first time for LEGO games,
Hmm.
with Arkham-styled fluid combat counter chains, countering itself, takedowns, and gadgets to use like the explosive gel, which is ripped right from the Arkham games. There is a stealth-inspired Predator missions, which include Batman being stealthy, trying to take out enemies that have more strength than others, which is
Okay.
awesome. Gadgets you can play as include, sorry, gadgets you can use include Batarangs, the Bat Claw, Explosive Gel, Commissioner Gordon's Foam Sprayer, Robin's Line Launcher, Catwoman's Whip, etc. We'll get some other stuff included when some
Right.
things pop up. This will be solo play or two-player with local co-op. There is no online, which that's something I think a lot of people were still bummed at is TT Games and Lego still literally refuse to allow you to play online with with a TT Lego game.
Which we'll get into that. Like we'll I think what we should do after you read all these off is like we should go over each bullet point again, like and discuss it further.
Yeah, we'll go through some of the ones we want to talk about more in depth. Um, diff Difficulty modes are now a thing, which I'm a huge fan of this. The difficulty modes will include standard mode, which is just basically what you've had before, Capes Crusader mode, which is a little more difficult, and Dark Knight mode, which Dark Knight mode's interesting because Dark Knight mode is the first time in a Lego game where when you die it matters because you will not have unlimited lives in Dark Knight mode. You can die and have to restart, so that's a thing.
Hmm.
There are only 7 playable characters in the
Hmm.
game itself. This is one we're going to get to probably quickly right off the bat. Those characters will include Batman, Jim Gordon, Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, Catwoman, and Talia al Ghul. Talia is an interesting one, but there's an easy reason for that. Villains you will be confirmed to face off against will be the Joker, the Penguin, Poison Ivy, Ra's al Ghul, and Bane. Those are the only ones we have confirmed so far.
That's it?
Sorry, Condiment King and Batmite were also confirmed as well.
That's it?
So far, those are the
All
ones
right,
they
all right, all right.
confirmed.
We'll get into it.
We're definitely gonna get more. Like you're not gonna have Two-Face and Riddler up here in this. The Batcave will be your main hub, just like in all the other games. However, unlike other games, the Batcave is customizable. So you can pick which vehicles you want on display. You can show off trophies you've collected. You
Oh
can
boy.
show off other collectibles, and there will be a hall of bat suits that will allow you to display the Batman costumes you have unlocked in the game so far. Love that. Awesome. Speaking of Batman costumes, there are approximately, at least at this time, 70 known suits in the game, with the rumor being that there's going to be about 100 playable, which is wild. On top of that, the Golden Age Batsuit from Detective Comics 27 is also going to be basically like a wish list bonus. If you go through and you sync the game at launch or whenever you go to play it with a
Hmm.
WB Games account, you will automatically unlock the Golden Age suit right off the bat. So that's really cool.
Did you
There
do
will
that
be
already?
Yes. There will be no microtransactions or consumable in-game purchases. So basically, you have to unlock everything by playing the game. You can't just spend money to get you can't spend real in-world money to
Okay.
get your hands on skins or Batmobiles or whatever.
Do we know if like they're still keeping like the silver, gold,
The
blue, and purple studs in
the
the game?
studs are there. In-game currency that you earn by playing the game is there.
Okay.
but you can't use actual money to buy in-game currency to give yourself a leg
Finally.
up. You have to just go through and
Finally.
play through it, which is just like the Lego games have always been. The Ace Chemicals mission from the game will reimagine the Red Hood gang and the Joker's origin,
Ooh.
which I think is amazing. Let me get to the end of this here. And the Pattinson era Batman and Jim Gordon are, sorry, the Pattinson era Batman is modeled to Robert Pattinson, obviously. And Gordon is modeled after Jeffrey Wright, which is really cool. And then there are deep cut suits like the Brave and the Bold, 1939 first appearance, Rainbow Batman, and then the classic Golden Age Jim Gordon.
Okay.
It's kind of what we have so far with that. Some other small tidbits we know from a fact from talking with, from not talking with, but from listening to developers that the Flying Graysons are going to be incorporated and that we will see the origin of Robin in this game as well, which I think is great because Robin's a big part of Batman.
So now, wait, you mentioned that we're getting Robin and Nightwing. So like
Yes.
are we getting like a Tim Drake, a Damian Wayne? Like,
So
do we
let's
know?
possibly
Or do we want to kind of go in order of what you just like everything
let's
that you just bulleted off?
let's go with what you had first because I want to bring up one point. There are only seven playable characters in the game, which that's become a bit of a point of contention. I'm fine with this. I really am. I don't
Hmm.
have a problem with it. One of the things I loved about the Lego games was going through and unlocking all the characters that you could get in the games.
Yes.
The problem is, 99% of the time, you're not touching any of them. You're playing as like four or five that you really enjoy, and you're only using certain ones for like, oh, I'm gonna go through and play a free play mission. I need this character to do this thing. Like in Lego Marvel, I'm sorry, I'm not playing as Aunt May. That's a
Well, I
stupid
mean,
character for me to have to unlock.
well, another thing with the old video games is like Lego Batman, for example. I always picked Clayface,
Hmm.
always, because I knew whatever character I didn't pick that I would have needed in the game, like Batman to use batarangs or Joker to do the shock to open the doors.
Yep.
I'll be giving them like you and your partner pick a character and then you're shown what playable characters you have.
Yep.
So like they'll give you what you need. Essentially, like you don't need any goons. Like they'll give you a goon for some reason. Like if it's within the level, they give you the goon.
Hmm.
Like they'll give you the characters that you need. Like similar to Star Wars, you needed a bounty hunter, you needed a droid, you needed a small character to crawl through the little doors.
Hmm.
So like I'm curious to see what they will do for this game because like if you do a free play mode, which I'm assuming there will be, we're not sure yet,
Probably.
but you're gonna need all seven of those characters. And like when I played the first Batman game before I knew, like you're gonna laugh.
Hmm.
For the longest time, I did not know you could play as the villains. I didn't know you
Honestly,
could
it was a
go
weird
to that
thing.
main door, turn on the switch, and then you go and become the villains. I thought it was literally you get Batman, you get Robin, eventually you unlock Batwoman and Nightwing, and that's it.
That was yeah.
I
Like
didn't
that's what
realize you could play all the villains.
it's an interesting thing. Now, one of the things people brought up is why is Talia al Ghul listed as a playable
Yeah,
character?
seriously.
So here's the answer to that is super easy. If this game is co-op,
Yes.
obviously before the introduction of Robin, Gordon is going to be the character that you do for co-op.
Yeah.
Obviously, Gordon wasn't with the League of the Shadows.
No.
Talia is. Boom. There you go. Talia is a playable character so that you can have a co-op for the origin mission where he's with the League of League
Hmm.
of Shadows, the League of Shadows, learning to be Batman basically and get those ninja
Okay.
skills. That's why she's playable. That's 100% it. The big thing that
As a
I
big Batman aficionado, sorry to
Mhm.
interrupt,
You're good.
was she ever a good guy? Like, was she like pretend to be good initially and then
Talia's
became bad, or is she like an anti-hero, or is she just whatever suits her?
Talia's kind of like an anti-hero. Like she loves Bruce Wayne. She has a relationship with Bruce Wayne. Obviously, had a kid together.
Hmm.
There's a lot of other interesting things, but she goes back and forth. Like she does support Ra's. She's all about his mission.
Hmm.
But at the same time, she's in league with Batman, so it goes back and forth.
Okay.
She's an interesting inclusion here. I like Talia's inclusion. Um, one of the interesting things is obviously they're talking about we're taking all aspects from the different, from different
Yeah.
movies and whatnot. But during a like a presser, a little interview, one of the lead developers was asked point blank, are certain characters in this game? They asked about Batmite, they confirmed Batmite. They asked about Condiment King. They confirmed Condiment King is in this game. Probably as a boss you have to fight somebody, which that's going to be funny. one specific character gets mentioned, and they say, "Nope, not in the game," and that's Superman.
Hmm.
That to me is interesting.
I don't agree with like I get it's supposed to be a Batman game, 100%. And we talked
Yes.
about this. If we're doing all I want to come back to this too, like with all the stories of Batman, I don't know if I agree with that, but we'll come back to that.
Hmm.
But with all the stories of Batman, a big reason of why Batman's Batman and like the stories that he goes through is because of Superman. Ben Affleck. How are they gonna
Not
not have
everything,
that
but
involved?
yes. Well, and here's the other thing. So that was
The
my point.
vehicles.
That was so I'll get to that in a second. But my one point was you're saying you're going to use you're pulling moments from the movies. Batman versus Superman, take it or leave it if you don't like it or not. I don't really care. It's a pretty big movie. This is the first time you ever get Batman and Superman in the same live action movie together.
Do you
Like
bleed? Like you that
that's a
scene
huge moment.
is iconic. Like it might not be the greatest movie of all time, but like that's still an iconic scene to see
And
Batman versus Superman showdown.
not only that, Dark Knight Returns is also a big thing.
Yes.
Like, if you're going to go through and do some of these, if you want to go through and do some of these larger, important moments for Batman's mythos, I
Mhm.
would 100% say that trying to find a way to combine Dark Knight Returns with Batman vs Superman
Yes.
aesthetically to be able to capture that a little bit would be interesting. I would like to
Hmm.
see them try it. That would have been like I don't know. My other thing was okay if we're not if Superman's not in this. My first thought was, are we just not touching Affleck? Are we not going anywhere near that? But Ash and Flash, former guest on the show, went through and got to play the game at
Hmm.
Gamescom. And while he was flicking through the menu, looking at some of the different Batmobiles, he noticed a couple of different vehicles that were silhouetted in the vehicle menu that you could clearly tell what they were. One of them was the Bat Pod, which I know you'll be hyped about.
I
You love the
want the
Bat Pod.
Bat Pod. I do. You know what? That's probably gonna be the next DC set I build is the buildable character with the Bat Pod.
Well, I want to know how they build that bat pod because you
Yes.
already know I'm going to try and replicate that
Oh,
the
we're
minute
both
they have
doing
a
it. We're both doing it hands
oh,
down. Dark
100%.
Knight is easily my favorite Batman movie.
Correct. So the bat pod was in the vehicle menu. You can see it, but you can't play as it. You
Hmm.
also don't fully see what it looks like. Are the He says in his video the Arkham Batmobile is visible. So I don't know if that means the Arkham Asylum Batmobile or the Arkham Knight Batmobile, but I'll get to another comment in a minute. I think they're both in the game. And then the third one he saw, he said was very clearly Affleck's the DCEU
Hmm.
Batmobile was Affleck's. So they're not avoiding Affleck. They're giving him representation. They're avoiding his story arcs from those
Which,
stories he was involved in.
all right, here's my thing with this. Like, again, I a few things because we talked about this before we made this episode. So a few things with the Batfleck Batman universe.
Mhm.
There were some solid moments like Do You Bleed, and there was also some horrible moments like
Like
Save
Martha.
Martha. Don't include that, but like you can't not have a Batman story 'cause, like that's a huge arc within Batman's story. But what we did talk about, which I can understand actually, because it makes a lot of sense why Superman's not in there, because it
Mhm.
is Henry Cavill's Superman. And I'm sure DC as a company right now wants not to push Cavill in a corner, because Cavill did the best he could with what was written for him,
Agreed.
without a doubt. But I don't blame them for not including Superman for that aspect if they want to move forward with Coruscant Superman and that new universe. If they hold on to Cavill while kind of ignoring the new great Superman that just finished, it would be a slap in the face to new Superman, but it's also kind of a slap in the face not to include the history with Superman and Batman.
I think 100% you're right. I think the only reason they're not touching the Batman versus Superman movie, like story arc or like anything from that, at least from what we know,
Right.
well, we do know they're not going to, because Superman is not in the game, is because the DCU just got its fresh
Mhm.
restart with Corn Sweat. They don't want to go back and show Cavill because that's going to bring attention to Cavill and it might ruin things. That's 100% right.
Because
I
like
think you're
there
dead
are a
on.
lot of fans of Cavill's Superman, which I thought he did great. I mean, there are
Yeah.
some parts that he wasn't Superman, but
Mhm.
that's not Cavill's fault. That's the
No,
writing.
that's the
Like
way he's
that's a
written.
whole other thing. But like it makes sense. Am I disappointed that there's not going to be Superman? Yes. I think
Yes.
everybody is generally upset that there's no Superman. However, this is a Batman game. Now I'm
I
curious to see how they do like
yeah.
having Batfleck's Batmobile it's going to be included. Like, I don't know how you don't add part of that story, or at least like maybe allude to it. I don't know. Like
Mhm.
if they're doing all. of Batman in film and
Then you're
TV,
leaving out
everything.
a pretty sizable chunk of cinematic
It's a
Batman,
DCEU. I mean, that's like that was a
DCEU.
big chunk of Batman.
Now,
Like it or not, Affleck was a Batman and pretty decent, honestly,
I
given
mean,
where he was.
and the fact that we see his Batmobile in the game,
Hmm.
like as at least a silhouette of it, what we assume is the DCEU Batmobile,
Hmm.
makes me feel like there's going to be playable Affleck skins in the game. You're probably going to get the Affleck suit.
If there's 100 suits, there's bound to be at least one or two. Come on.
My assumption is we're going to get that. We're going to get the tactical suit from Justice League. We're going to get the armored suit, and we're probably going to get the Nightmare suit.
Ooh.
I'd love the Nightmare suit. I'd be sick.
Hmm.
Now, what disappoints me about no Superman is we're not gonna get Dark Knight Returns, which
Nope.
that to me that is well regarded as probably the greatest Batman story ever told.
Yeah.
That comic is phenomenal. And the fact that they're probably going to totally gloss over Dark Knight Returns makes me kind of sad because that's my favorite comic book of all time.
Mhm.
Now, speaking of Batmobiles, the developer also said when asked what Batmobiles can fans expect, his response was all of them. I'm not kidding. It was all of them. And he goes on to say the 89 and 66 are both playable. So
66 too.
66 is playable. Like, yeah, that's awesome. We also, like, I would say if you want to rattle off some Batmobiles that you think are going to be playable, 89, yes. 66, yes. Probably the 66 Bat Cycle too. Um, we're probably going to get
66
the,
copter,
yes, 100%. 89 Batwing for sure. Um,
tumbler, the bat, bat
the bat's
pod.
got to be in this. I want to see the new version of the bat so bad. But
Hmm.
I'm also thinking like, how about the Forever Batmobile? What about
Yes.
oh my God, what's his
You
name?
mean the one right
Clooney's
behind you?
disco. Yeah, that one back there. Um,
There you go.
how about Clooney's Batmobile? How about animated series Batmobile? And we
Yes.
know that they're going into the animation stuff because the Brave and the Bold suit is shown in the gameplay demo
Hmm.
for the Red Hood mission. So it's like we're probably going to get the Brave and the Bold Batmobile. We're
Yep.
probably going to get WB Kids 2004 the Batman Batmobile. Both of them, like
Yes.
Rebirth,
Options are endless.
Option Endless. We're probably like if you think of a Batmobile, it's probably going to be in this.
Really
100%.
bad.
Please, we need the really bad.
All right. Here's the thought I just saw that we haven't even, you and me haven't even discussed.
Mhm.
Will there be any mention of the Lego Batman movie?
I would assume so.
Like there's
I
a
would
lot
as
of there's a Scuttler, there's a lot of vehicles in there, but also is that where we're gonna get a lot of Batman's outfits from that film?
I would assume we are probably going to get the standard Lego Batman movie Batman suit, and we will probably get the standard Lego Batman movie. Like we'll probably get the Speedwagon, that Batmobile,
Hmm.
which I love that Batmobile. So it's probably going to be in there.
Is
I
that the one with
don't
the
think
parallel
they'll.
park?
Yes, I don't think they'll do much else besides that. I could be wrong because I think it's
Scuttler?
no. I don't think they'll do the Scuttler.
I
If
mean,
they
they
do the
said
Scuttler,
every
it might be an
vehicle is
aerial
available.
vehicle.
Every vehicle,
That's true. Well, it's every Batmobile. That's the
every
thing.
Batmobile.
I mean, when I think about it, I also think like, okay, let's talk about the suits now because we
Yes.
know there's about 100 suits, and we know that each character is going to get alternate suits. So
Is it
Gordon,
100 bat suits or is it 100 playable?
no, it's 100 bat suits that
So
everybody else
now,
has other characters too.
before we get more into the other characters, with the different suits for Batman, are they just skins or are they gonna be like important like in the
They're
previous
just
Batman
skins.
games? Like are they so we're not gonna get like a heat resistant bat suit, we're not gonna get like a demolition suit.
Nope. Unless I could see
That's
them
what I'm
include
curious about
I
now.
could see them including those in the game as just outfits you can wear, but not giving them any special powers, which
See,
could
that was a
which would
charm of the
suck.
Batman games because like I mean, I always remember playing the one that would rip off the doors or leave the
Oh yeah.
bombs. Like that was always so fun and like Robin's magnet suit. I'm sure your brother loved that.
He hates that thing to no end. Well, here's the thing. When DC supervillains came out, there was no longer any alternate suits for Batman or Robin. They were gone.
Well, yeah, but that
They
was a
combined a
villain's
lot of the
game.
gadgets into just the standard suits.
Well, they combine all the gadgets into like with the first game, like a lot of like the strong suit Batman or the glider Batman was Man
Mhm.
Bat.
Yeah,
So like the heat resistant, I don't know if there was a heat
there
resistant
really
character.
wasn't.
I mean, like Robin's scuba suit was Killer Croc.
Yep.
So like I don't know. I'm curious. So you think it's gonna be like Fortnite essentially, and it's all just gonna be skins?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we know the ones we're getting so far is Pattinson from 2022. We're getting Dark Knight. We're getting the Rainbow Suit, which that was just wild to see. That's one of the original ones they
Mm-hmm.
confirmed. We're going to be getting oh my God, what's the one that one I'm thinking of? Brave and the Bold, which that one
Yep.
looks the best of all the ones we've seen so far. And we're getting the Golden Age suit.
Yes.
In the trailer, we also see like the classic, like all black with the bright yellow, like this suit.
Yep.
We see that, and we see Keaton. My guess is we'll probably get 89 Keaton. We'll probably get 92 Keaton because both those suits are different.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be how that works. Are there any suits specifically that you want to see? Because I have a couple for sure that I want to see, but I want to know if you got anything.
Um, I mean, outside of like the classics, like I don't need to see much. I was like, we talked about like the armored suit from Batman vs Superman.
Hmm.
I'd like to see like the from that one Lego set with Aquaman and Mr. Freeze, like the white suit.
Yeah,
That
it'd be
was just so
sick.
different to me, like iconic, just because like it is sort of like I think it's like the only white cowl. I mean, if we're
One
going
of the only
like the
ones.
Lego Batman movie route, like there's the Tooth Fairy Batman, there's the Money Suit Batman, like there's a bunch of zany outfits that they could do just as plain skins, which would be
Hmm.
awesome. So I don't know if there's necessarily one I want to see. I just like I would love to see ones that have been in previous games and previous sets,
Hmm.
but I'm also looking forward to all of the ones like the Rainbow one that are original to the game, which will then we'll be begging for years to be in a Lego set.
I would bet we're probably also going to get Zebra Batman, the Comic Con
Yes.
figure. We're probably going to get that. We'll probably get Zur-En-Arrh. That's a huge one.
Hmm.
We'll probably get Nightfall Batman, like the Azrael Batsuit. That'll be sick. We'll probably end up getting Absolute Batman because you know they're going to put him in that because everyone's
Hmm.
loving Absolute Batman right now. Like, there's 100 suits. I could give you a list of 100 Batmans that could be in this.
No, no,
I
that
won't
that
because
that
it'll
is that's a list that you're gonna save for Sakuga.
correct. But Gordon has Gordon. We have classic Golden Age Gordon.
Yep.
We also have they had some other costume party one where he's wearing a cowboy hat for some reason.
Now, are we just getting like you said Jeffrey Wright, or like are we gonna be getting like Gary
They're all
Oldman at
based
all?
around Jeffrey Wright.
Okay.
So we'll probably get a Gary Oldman looking suit that's Jeffrey Wright still, my assumption. The Catwoman we see is also Michelle Pfeiffer, so that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
We don't see Nightwing, Batgirl, or Robin in anything, or Talia for that matter. Robin, I'm assuming we're probably going to get 66 Robin. We'll probably get
Well, I'm
classic
curious, which
Dick
like is
Grayson.
it going to be all the Robins, or since we're getting Nightwing, we're not gonna get Dick Grayson's Robin?
That's another question is like, if you're going into the depth of Batman and you've confirmed we're giving you the Flying Graysons, you're going to get that origin
Hmm.
story. Are we going to get Death in the Family with Jason Todd?
So, okay,
Like, I don't know.
I think this is my big issue with the concept of the game and all that I didn't realize it till we started discussing it.
Hmm.
I can understand wanting to do the full arc of Batman through the years and like take inspiration from all the different films, television, comics, and all that.
Hmm.
But they were separate stories, not for a reason, but like the Dark Knight trilogy is so different from Keaton's Batman, and then
Correct.
Pattinson's Batman is going to be so different. So like I can understand wanting to make like a cohesive story. I don't know how it's going to be a cohesive when there's such different tones to each set of films and different actors. It just I feel like that's gonna be kind of forced to kind of put them all together.
Hmm.
Whereas if they did do what you didn't want was to like here's the Keaton levels, here's the Bale levels, here's the Affleck levels, here's the Pattinson levels, which Pattinson would have one level because we only get one film. Can
You
we
get
please
one
hurry that
game.
up, Gun? Please, thank you.
Mhm.
But like
Totally
I
right.
feel like it's gonna feel a little forced to try and combine it all together because like in the trailer we see the Pattinson chase with Penguin, but it's Danny DeVito's Penguin.
It's not even that. It's DeVito's Penguin in Colin Farrell's costume.
Yes, like that's where it's gonna get not confusing because like we're all smart, like we know who's who, but like
Yeah,
you're taking away Colin Farrell's performance, which was phenomenal,
one of the best
and
ever.
then but like you're also kind of doing disservice to Danny DeVito because he didn't do that. He did his own great thing as Penguin. Like you can't
Correct.
pick and choose. Like oh we're just sticking with DeVito, we're sticking with Tom Hardy because let's forget the Batman and Robin Bane forever. Please.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to see that though.
No, you
I
don't.
want to see a sequence with that Bane, please.
But we already got shown Tom Hardy. So like I feel like they're picking
True.
like we're completely lost to Jack Nicholson's Joker and only getting Heath Ledger?
I mean, that's the thing we don't know.
Like that's the
So
thing we don't know. Like
the
that's where like I'm curious to see what story they will do.
Mhm.
I'm nervous though.
It's what I think was interesting was when you go through and you watch the gameplay of the Red Hood level that they did show. It's basically the origin of the Joker from they do the same, it's like the same lines of dialogue and whatnot from Batman 89 with Red Hood Joker, with Red Hood saying, "You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?"
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he falls into the pit, and then Batman turns around and the police are there and he smoke bombs. Like they recreate the scene from Batman 89 perfectly, but
Hmm.
he's in the Brave and the Bold suit,
So like I'm
which is
wondering if
interesting. It's like,
it's it
are you recreating those bits, but with different suits? Like that's kind of cool if that's how you're doing it.
or is that like a free play mode essentially? Because
I
like
don't
if you're
know.
playing the free play mode, like you know how like you get like those in-game stores and like it depends on what suit you're
Hmm.
wearing, it'll like you put on that suit.
Yep.
If that's free play, that would make sense. But like if that's the overarching story, when
It
does he have
looked
this suit? When does he have to how that's where
it
it's gonna get a little weird
it
for me.
looked to me like the most recent Spider-Man games from Insomniac, where you can pick which Spider-Man suit you're wearing throughout
Mhm.
the campaign. Like
Yes.
I've seen videos of people that play through the entirety of Spider-Man 2 with the Andrew Garfield suit, the second one, because they
Yep.
love it that much. And it's like it doesn't impact the story at all. It's just he's in that suit. So it
Exactly.
might be that, which is interesting. Now here's another thing I want to talk to you about. The designs of the Tumbler and the designs of Pattinson's the muscle car Batmobile
Hmm.
are not sets. They are not the
Are
sets.
you asking me if we're gonna get sets of those,
So,
or if they just completely did their own thing because it's a Lego video game and they can do whatever the
well,
hell
they
they want?
definitely so the Tumbler is very much a
High
slightly
elbow.
modified. Yeah, the Tumbler is very slightly a modified version of the 2021 set, but the Pattinson Batmobile is completely an original build. So, are we gonna get those as sets? I think there's more likely a chance we get the Pattinson Batmobile next year in March because we know there's rumors there's three Batman sets or three DC sets coming in March. Could those potentially be tie-ins for the game? Because we know the game is rumored to be coming out in the spring.
I say no, only because we've never really had sets based off a video game. We've had sets that kind of like inspired like we've had Batman sets and we later saw them in the video game.
Yep.
But I feel like it's always sets then video game, not video game then sets.
Lego Batman 3 had some tie-ins though.
Did it?
Yeah. The spacesuit showed up in the game and it was in
Which
the
came
Green Lantern
first?
set. The figure was shown off in the trailer for that game, but then the set came out, and then the game took the
So that's where
design.
I feel like because like Lego sets are in development for like what 2 years or something. We
True, but
kind of
so is the
figured
video
out.
game.
True, but so like I feel like it's gonna be set first, and it just happens you can play them in the game. I don't think it's gonna be where you see the video game, because if that were the case, it'd be a year or two later. Like I don't think we're gonna get the game first and then sets based off the game. Like I don't think we're gonna see a set with the Batman game's logo.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm saying more along the lines of, do you think that in the course of designing this new Pattinson Batmobile for this game, they have a physical model that they're going to release at the same time, around the same time that the game comes out? I could
Um,
see that.
I could see it. I don't believe that they would see that as smart.
That's
So I don't
fair.
think they're gonna do it. I mean, I don't own the Pattinson Batmobile. Was that a good set?
Yes. It was slightly inaccurate though, in terms of like the front bumper wasn't really protruding out enough, it wasn't bulky enough, and it was a little too big.
Oh,
So this one's definitely scaled down a little bit, which is interesting. I don't know. I feel like one of those March DC sets is going to be this Batmobile. Is going to be the Pattinson one. I think they're going to re-release it.
I'm gonna say no. I think I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say no because I'm sure Lego has been waiting a long time
for the
for the
sequel.
second for this. Yes, I think that's when you'll get the updated car because
But is
Pattinson's
that
Batman does not seem like the Batman to have a different vehicle every single movie.
true? Oh, they may do that to help with toy sales. Is another thing they could do that.
But
And
it's
with
been so
Lego,
long, it's gonna no one has the original toys.
yeah, right. And with the fact that they've remade the Tumbler twice in the last few years, like I could
They
totally
never
see
should have
that
done the
being remade.
second one.
No,
Never, ever, ever.
yep,
And
things sucked.
I don't even know what
Now,
to do with it. I don't want to build it.
now, just take the figures out and sell the build.
Who's gonna
Um,
buy it?
I don't know. Bricks Rock will buy it. Um, let's talk quickly about gameplay because that was a big thing.
Mhm.
One, open world Gotham that is 3 times bigger than the Gotham City from Arkham Knight. And that open world for that game was already massive to begin with.
I wouldn't know. I didn't.
I know you
So,
unfortunately you
for
didn't. I
those who
yeah.
don't know me, I'm not much of a gamer. The last system I had was a Wii. Before that was a PS2. I had a Game Boy Advance. I had like a Nintendo DS, and that's about it. So I'm not
Mhm.
as well versed in video games. So Lego games up until I think Lord of the Rings was the last one I got.
Yeah.
So
What do you think of the combat though? Like the free flow with him jumping around and doing like, fist attacks and like
I mean,
grappling around and jumping on guys like
it looks cool as long as it's not too complicated. Because like, let's be
definitely not.
honest, the people playing this game first and foremost are gonna be younger audiences
Hmm.
while also fans that grew up playing the Lego Batman video game. So like you have to make it where both can play it while both enjoying it. So as long as it's not too complicated to do those special moves, great.
It definitely looks like what they've done because I know you haven't played the Arkham games, but the Arkham games had a very simple free flowing. It was called the free flow combat system for those who don't
Hmm.
know. It looks like TT is basically just taken that whole system of combat. They've slightly simplified it a little bit to make it a little easier. And now here we go. I love that. I love that this doesn't feel like your typical Lego game.
Oh,
This
it's
fe
definitely appreciated, but I there was a certain charm to the original
There
actually.
definitely was. There definitely was. But I also look at it like the Lego games coming out was like the new Madden or the new Call of Duty, where you kind of know what to expect. With this, we really don't. Like it,
Exactly.
it looks like the fact that you're gliding around Gotham and you're summoning the Batmobile and like this looks like a Lego version of Arkham Knight.
Which is what I was saying earlier. I feel like it's a Lego game that is it's Arkham Knight but Lego,
Hmm.
whereas previous Lego games it was a Lego game in Lego,
Yeah.
where like you never really see a Lego game not in Lego.
Hmm.
So I feel like they took the Arkham game and just dropped it into Lego essentially.
Hmm.
So I'm curious to see how different it's going to be. I mean, we talked about us playing it together just to see what can. It's been a while since I played a Lego video game, so I'm curious. I'm
I
still
think we
kicking
can
myself for not
say,
doing Marvel.
I think we can say verbatim, we're gonna play this game.
Yes.
And we're gonna have it on the channel. Like we're gonna do Let's Plays and we're gonna post them. They may be streamed, they might be recorded. We're still working through how that's gonna work, but we are definitely 100% going to
Mhm.
play this game together and share our gameplay with everybody because that would be fun. I
Now,
think
are
you
we
and I
just
both enjoy
playing, or are we
that.
gonna try and do like commentary while we're playing?
Oh, both.
Okay.
We'll talk while we're playing. Like
Okay.
that's the whole fun of it. But I this is the first Lego game in a long time that I've been very excited for. Like really,
I'm
really
gonna
excited for.
struggle. No, when I played with my brother, I was always player one, he was always player two. So he was always Robin, I was always Batman. I understand Batman's your thing.
Well, here's the interesting thing though.
I don't want to
There,
be Robin.
but here's the thing though. All the characters are going to have very similar combat, very similar like Gordon. They show Gordon has a grapple gun. Gordon has a hang glider, like a that he can use to
Oh
glide
my
around. Like
God.
they gave him that so he could. So it's basically Batman, Gordon, Robin. They're all probably going to play very similar,
Okay.
minus some of like
So it
Gordon's
takes
going to
some of the
have
charm
different.
out of it because like there was always something cool about like different characters. Like you needed different characters for
Well,
different parts.
the thing is, each character has different gadgets.
Okay.
Batman has different gadgets than Gordon, than he does Robin, than he does Nightwing. So I love that idea of, and the characters all play the same. It's their gadgets that make them
Mhm.
unique. It's their abilities in that sense. That's cool. I like that idea.
So I'm looking at my DC shelf right now, and I just realized that there's one playable character that I'm not sure we discussed if it's will end up even being an option.
Hmm.
Bruce Wayne
I could see him totally being a skin for Batman.
but like, would he have all the gadgets? Would he have the capability to fly? Like, would he have all that?
So they did so I don't know if you're familiar with Injustice 2, but that fighting game,
Hmm.
they had a thing with where because that game had like gear you could unlock, you could
Yes.
customize like the armor your character had. So they couldn't do character skins
Hmm.
because your gear was getting moved around and changed all the time. No two character was the same. So they had a thing called Premier Skins, which what that was, it was basically it turned your like it would take the Flash,
Hmm.
and instead of having to be the Flash, he was the Reverse Flash. Switching
Hmm.
gear out to make Flash look different didn't make a difference. He just was the same base Reverse Flash.
Hmm.
Batman in that game had a Bruce Wayne Premier Skin that made him just look like Bruce Wayne, but he had all of Batman's abilities. So
Hmm.
my guess is we're probably going to get a Bruce Wayne figure that has the same abilities as Batman. That'd be kind of funny.
Hmm.
I could see that. I don't know if they'll do it. I think they'll it
Like, are we gonna get the secret identities of all these playable characters? Like, are we gonna get Bruce Wayne? Are we gonna get Dick Grayson or Tim Drake or Damian Wayne? Are we gonna get Selena Kyle? Are we gonna get I'm blanking on Batgirl.
oh
Gordon.
Gordon.
Barbara Gordon. Are we gonna get
I
Barbara
would
Gordon?
we might. I would say I think of the characters, I'm gonna pose you this question. Of all the characters that aren't Batman, which one are you the most interested to see their alternate costumes for?
Oh,
Because I know
easily.
mine off the bat, huh?
Easily Robin slash Nightwing, honestly,
I
just
think it's Robin.
because Batman and Robin have been together for so long. Like, there's
Yep.
just so many different suits.
I mean,
They're a team.
66 Burt Ward. Give me Chris O'Donnell from Forever. I want it. I'm dead serious. I want it. Give me Chris O'Donnell. If I
With the nipples.
TT Lego, listen to me. If there is a Val Kilmer Batman in this game that does not have bat nipples, we're gonna have a problem.
It wasn't Kilmer, it was Clooney.
Both of them had it.
Kilmer had to
Kilmer had bat nipples too.
wait, does that
And
wait. Does that figure have it?
no, because it's a sonar suit. But the sonar suit,
Could that be a suit?
it is because there was a statue of it at the Lego Batman booth at Gamescom.
Well, that could have just been promoting the set.
It was that wasn't there.
Okay.
So I think the sonar suits, but like this thing is like I don't mind that this isn't like you can play as 300 characters because like realistically, I don't care. I'm
Hmm.
looking to use like seven of them anyway. Like,
Right.
and I like the fact that this
I'm gonna
game is break.
miss.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm gonna miss like if I don't know if this is gonna be the case. Like if it's just skins, that'll be a little disappointing because like there was some certain appeal to having different Batman suits. Like you needed different suits for different reasons.
Agreed.
Like having the um, you had the special pieces printed, the bat changing
Oh, the
um
suits, the suit switchers,
the
yeah,
suit switcher. Like that was always awesome to me. Like it was
it
always
was.
there like right when you needed it. Like I'm gonna miss that actually.
Me too. It was a fun. For me, it got for me the switchers became completely irrelevant the minute you hit Lego Batman 3 because
Well,
then
see,
they
I didn't play Lego Batman 3, so I don't know.
so Lego Batman 3 integrated a system where you would unlock a suit and then you could there was a suit wheel that would appear above your head. If you held triangle
Oh.
and you could switch whatever suit you had as long as you had it unlocked. So there
Hmm.
was no switchers anymore. And then DC Supervillains totally abandons the switchers and now it's just every character has like Batman could just do anything that most like Batman had a ton of abilities. He could throw
Hmm.
batarangs, he could grapple, he could dig, he could do all kinds of stuff. Like that was great because
Hmm.
Batman should be able to just do all those things because he has those gadgets on him.
Fair.
Like the novelty of the suits was fun.
Hmm.
And the reason they did it in that first video game was because it wasn't like Star Wars or Indiana Jones, where you have different characters coming out of different abilities.
You had Batman.
You just had Batman and Robin. You had to
Yeah.
give them a way to give them different ability to play as something different, so you give them the
Hmm.
alternate costumes. This game, you don't
Hmm.
think you need that.
All right.
I see why it's sad to see it go, but you
Hmm.
don't need it.
Okay. Seeing as you could talk about this for hours on end,
Hmm.
I want you to kind of sum it all up right now, what you're nervous about, what you're excited about, and then your overall feeling right now. Being the Batman fan and expert that you are.
What I'm excited about is what references we're gonna get to different
Okay.
suits and different comic book stories. I think I'm I want Dark Knight Returns so bad. I really do. Like you're not we're not gonna get him fighting Superman, which could you imagine the boss fight that could be?
You wouldn't win.
You wouldn't. But imagine giving us the boss fight of armored
Hmm.
Batman and Carrie
Do you
Kelly
bleed?
Robin.
Do you bleed?
Yeah, like you could have done that. That would have been really fun. Um, I'm excited to see what references, what comic book stories do they pull from,
Hmm.
what TV show, like animated series needs to be heavily featured in this. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
You need to pull from that big time. Um, I also look at what I'm most nervous about is are you going to be able to take all of these different moments from his entire history
Right.
and plot them out sequentially in a way that makes it flow and doesn't make it a very disruptive,
That's
jagged
what I
storytelling.
am extremely nervous about. Like that
Me
was what I was
too.
trying to talk about earlier. It's just with all the different Batmans, like they all take place during different times in Batman's life, but at the same time, like it's not in sequential order, it seems like.
Correct.
I mean, obviously Pattinson's a young Batman, Keaton's
Hmm.
like the middle Batman, but then with Bale, like you saw the beginning, middle, and end. Batfleck was the end. Not the end, but like
He was
later
more towards the
stages in
end of them.
life.
Yeah.
I just thought of it. Are we getting Batman Beyond? Because that's part of
Please.
Batman's story. That's part of Batman's story.
It,
Being
it,
Batman, being a mentor to Terry McGinnis.
he will at least, if anything, Batman Beyond will be a playable skin, and they'll probably give us the Batman Beyond. They'll probably give us the Batmobile Beyond as a playable Batmobile or a Batwing. That's because it can fly.
All right,
We'll
what are you
probably get
nervous
that.
about?
Yeah. I mean, the nervousness is what are you leaving out? What are you not touching? Because I'm sorry, if you're gonna do some more dark and gritty stuff like you're doing with Red Hood, there's no way you're touching anything 66 wise whatsoever.
True.
Like you can have them as playable skins, but you're not doing anything from that show
Have a shark
at all.
repellent set. I mean, have a shark repellent level.
Dude, Ultimate Collector Series shark repellent bottle
No,
would sell in minutes.
you're like Methuselah and Venom.
But this is better than Venom. It's the shark repellent.
We already have the minifigure with the piece. That's all you need.
That's true. I'm excited for this game. I have my
Yeah,
reservations, but I'm excited. And I'm excited to play it with you because it's going to be fun as all
it will
hell.
be.
Excuse my language.
Hi, Elmo.
It's going to be super fun
Yeah.
going through and playing that game. Um, I just can't wait, man. I know you're bummed because you love Marvel and you'd rather it be like a
Well,
Spider-Man
no, it's
game.
not. No, 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 no. Don't get me wrong. All right, well, here's the problem. Here's my irony. I've never played a Lego Marvel game.
You need to come over and change that then because I have all
I've
of them, so we
only
can play them.
played DC. Well, I've done like Lord of the Rings and Pirates of the Caribbean,
Hmm.
Star Wars, but it's the two Lego Batman games, and that's all the superheroes I've gotten.
Correct.
So like I'm definitely excited that Lego games aren't dead. I thought they were
Me
going to be
too.
dead after Skywalker Saga, so I'm very happy about that. I am I want to be optimistic, but I'm still nervous just because of how I don't want them to be different just to be different from the original Lego games
Correct.
because we wouldn't have Lego games without those games. So like don't
No.
dishonor that, but like it's smart to do something different to try to reach out a wider audience, to bring in new fans, bring in old fans and all sorts.
Agreed.
So I'm very curious. I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm not gonna just trash it. I'm gonna
No.
give it a fair shot, but I'm nervous because it's the unknown. You don't know what the unknown.
If this game is like I think what's most important is it's going to be different than what we've had before.
Yes.
Definitely. And I'm fine with that
Mm-hmm.
because again, what we've had before is getting stale.
Yes.
Like Skywalker Saga, I played that game. Aaron and I played that game. We both loved playing the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Did we unlock any of the characters afterwards? No. We unlocked like three, and that was it. Because it takes so long to play through them.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, if you make the achievements more than just replaying the same levels 50 times to get everything, I'm fine. Like,
Oh my God, I don't know why we didn't talk about this. Will there be mini kits?
there's got to be mini kits.
If they're trying to be
Imagine
different, if they're trying to
scattering
be a,
mini kits around Gotham.
if they're trying to be a different game, mini kits was like the core to all those games. Like Pirates of the Caribbean had the ship in a bottle, and Star Wars had all the mini kits. Batman had mini kits. I don't know what Marvel had, but like They
Here's
were
my
integral to Lego game, but like if to try and be different from that classic TT games, no mini kit.
here's my idea for the mini kits. Want to hear this?
I think
That's
this
how
would be a
you
good ending point.
that's how you unlock some Batmobiles. Play the levels, collect the mini kits, and your mini kits, when you get the parts out of them, it makes a vehicle.
But then that's
And
kind
that's
of
how you
doing
unlock some
that's
vehicles.
what the old TT games was like replaying the levels over and over till you get all the mini
I'm
kits.
saying I think this game is going to take what worked, what people enjoyed about those games,
Okay.
and it's going to ditch what people were sick of. That's what I
Okay.
think they're doing here. And I hope that's the case.
Okay.
Because if this game works and really hits the ground, I think we could see another, I would love to see them do Harry Potter again.
Maybe a
That'd
Lego
be cool.
Spider-Man game.
Lego Spider-Man would be perfect to do.
Sony, get off
I
your
don't,
high horse.
the problem is I don't think they'll do it because they have the Insomniac games still going,
And
and
it's
that gets
Sony.
problematic.
Sony's gonna ruin everything as per usual.
Yeah, but those Spider-Man games are really good.
I
Like
understand, but we almost lost Tom Holland in the MCU because of
that's a
Sony.
good point. Are there
So
any final
Sony,
thoughts?
moral of the story, Sony, sell your rights to Spider-Man to back to Marvel.
More of
And
the story. Sony Pictures sucks.
yes, but no, Batman game, I'm optimistic. I'm nervous. I'm feeling all sorts of things, so I'm very
Yep.
curious to see what the future holds with it.
I'm hyped. I can't wait. Let's do it. Like I said, Cam and I will be doing some gameplay of the game when it comes
Mhm.
out. We're not sure if we're going to live stream it or if we're going to go through and just record it and do Let's Plays. Might just do Let's Plays because it might be easier. But
We'll
I
wait and
do
see.
have. We'll wait and see. We'll announce it. We'll get something more concrete once we know when the game is coming out. We can start scheduling times to play.
Yeah.
But
Comment below what you'd rather see.
yes, let us know what you and let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are about this game. Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you like this sucks? Get it out of my face. Let us know down below. I would also like to thank everybody for watching and make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you also hit the notification bell so you're notified when all new episodes go live. All episodes of the flagship podcast come out on Fridays at 2 p.m. And then Time Capsule, our other series where we do monthly, where we go back and look at a retired theme and talk about it in a retrospective format. Those come out third Tuesday of every month at 5 p.m. This past week, we had the finale of our four-part series on
Or
Bionicle.
this
Again,
week.
thank you.
This week we had our finale.
Yes, thank you this week. Thank you very much to Mr. LJ Johnson for coming on and doing that four parts with us. The last episode we did film in Brick Fair, so that was really fun getting to do that. Um, but you can also find us on Instagram at the Breakout Hour Pod. You can find me on Instagram at Langster Builds. We will see everybody next week. Have a great night. Happy building.